The vastness of space was a place of constant wonder and terror. It was a realm where the laws of physics were both a shield and a cage, where stars were born in the cosmic darkness and quickly extinguished. Amongst the cold infinity, there was one planet whose story was as old as the stars themselves, a planet known as Aldaris. Aldaris had once been a thriving world, home to a race of beings who had long mastered the mysteries of the universe. The people of Aldaris were the Aldari, a species of alien beings who had mastered the art of bending space itself. They had transcended the physical limitations of their world and unlocked the ability to travel faster than light, connecting star systems across the galaxy. They had seen the birth and death of stars and had long ago ascended beyond the physical, living among the stars in vast, living cities constructed from the very fabric of the universe. But, in a single night, everything changed. The Aldari disappeared. Their cities, once shimmering with light and energy, became silent tombs. Their technology, which had been the pinnacle of galactic achievement, faded into myth and legend. For centuries, the galaxy had wondered about the fate of the Aldari. Some believed that they had ascended into a higher plane of existence, while others thought they had been wiped out by an unknown, more powerful force. Their disappearance remained one of the greatest mysteries of the galaxy. Captain Lyra Vale sat in the command chair of the Astral Voyager, a starship designed for long-distance travel. The hum of the engines reverberated through the ship as it cut through the fabric of space, its sleek silver body gliding effortlessly through the black void. Lyra was no stranger to danger. As a seasoned explorer and the captain of one of the most renowned ships in the fleet, she had seen more than her fair share of hostile alien species, ancient ruins, and unexplained phenomena. But this mission felt different. This was a journey into the heart of mystery itself. They were headed toward Aldaris, the long-lost homeworld of the Aldari. Captain, Lieutenant Cade Reynolds, the ship's tactical officer, spoke, his voice laced with concern. "We're approaching the coordinates. The signal is coming from the planet's surface. It's strange. It's been broadcasting for over 10,000 years, and yet, no one's ever been able to decode it." Lyra's gaze remained fixed on the holographic display before her, showing the dim outline of Aldaris against the black backdrop of space. The signal was unlike anything they had encountered before. It was a pulse, rhythmic and repetitive, but encoded in a language that seemed to twist and bend in ways that made no sense. "Any change in the signal's strength or pattern?" Lyra asked. "No," Cade replied. "It's stable, but it's almost as if it's waiting for us. There's something deliberate about it." Lyra frowned, tapping a command into her console. "Prepare for atmospheric entry. I want us ready for anything when we land." The crew had been briefed, and although they were prepared for a simple exploration mission, no one could deny the unease that hung in the air. They were about to set foot on a planet that had once been home to a race of beings far more advanced than anything humanity had ever known. And yet, those beings were now gone. All that remained were their ruins, their signal, and the endless questions that came with it. As the Astral Voyager descended toward Aldaris, the planet's surface came into sharper focus. It was a world of endless desert, broken only by the jagged remnants of cities that had once been towering marvels of architecture. Some of the ruins looked as though they had been frozen in time, with glowing energy sources still flickering faintly in the distance. The ship's landing gear touched down on a flat plain near the largest of these structures, a colossal spire that reached far into the sky, its surface covered in intricate, glowing patterns. Lyra stood at the front of the command deck, her hands clasped behind her back as she stared out at the alien city. "We're here," she said quietly, almost to herself. Let us make history. The team assembled in the airlock, each member wearing a helmet with a clear visor to protect them from the planet's thin atmosphere. Their mission was simple: investigate the source of the signal, explore the ruins, and recover any data they could about the Aldari civilization. But as they made their way toward the spire, a creeping sense of unease took root in Lyra's chest. "Stay alert," Lyra said over the comms, as she led the team through the dusty streets of the city. The buildings around them were massive, but strangely silent, as though they had been abandoned in a hurry. The air was thick with dust, and the only sound was the soft crunch of their boots on the ground. The signal grew louder the closer they got to the spire. It seemed to reverberate through the very air itself, like the heartbeat of the planet. "Whatever this is, it's definitely coming from that spire," said Cade, his voice tense. "Let us move," Lyra ordered. As they approached the spire, they saw a massive door embedded in the side of it. It was covered in strange symbols that seemed to shimmer in the low light. The door was wide open, as though inviting them inside. But Lyra wasn't about to be fooled. Something was off. She motioned for her team to hold position. "Stay sharp. This place has been untouched for centuries. We don't know what we're dealing with." They stepped cautiously inside, their footsteps echoing in the vast chamber. The interior of the spire was unlike anything they had ever seen. The walls were lined with glowing crystals, and the floor was covered in intricate patterns that seemed to move when viewed from different angles. At the center of the room stood a massive crystalline structure, pulsing with light. The signal was strongest here. As they drew closer, the structure began to hum, sending ripples of energy through the room. Suddenly, a voice, distorted and metallic, filled the air. It was not a voice in any language they recognized, but it was unmistakably sentient. "You have come." Lyra froze, her heart pounding. "Did anyone else hear that?" "We all heard it, Captain," Cade said, his voice low. "It's speaking to us." The voice continued, but this time it was clearer, as if the words were being translated directly into their minds. "You are the ones who will awaken us." Lyra's breath caught in her throat. "What do you mean, awaken us?" The voice responded, its tone filled with an eerie calm. "We are the Aldari. We are not gone. We are waiting." A chill ran down Lyra's spine. The Aldari had not vanished. They had simply waited. "You have unlocked the signal. Now, you will understand." The ground beneath them trembled as the structure in the center of the room began to glow brighter. A burst of energy shot from the crystalline core, enveloping the team in a blinding light. Lyra shielded her eyes, and when the light subsided, they found themselves no longer in the spire. Instead, they were standing in a massive chamber, the walls of which pulsed with light and energy. The air was thick with an unnatural hum, and the room was filled with strange, ghostly shapes, figures that seemed to be made of light itself. These figures appeared humanoid, but their features were blurred and shifting, as though they were made of pure energy. The figures turned toward them, and for a moment, Lyra felt an overwhelming sense of awe and fear. "These beings, were they the Aldari you have come?" the voice said again, now clearer and more powerful. "You have unlocked the pathway to our true form." Lyra stepped forward cautiously. "What is this place? What are you?" "We are the Aldari," the voice responded. "We are not dead, but we are not alive in the way you understand. We have transcended the physical realm. You are standing in the threshold between worlds." The figures around them seemed to pulse in response to the words, their bodies becoming brighter with each passing second. Lyra's heart raced as she realized what she was witnessing. The Aldari were not extinct. They had evolved beyond their physical forms, becoming beings of energy, of thought, of pure consciousness. They had transcended death, but in doing so, they had become something alien to the human mind. "Why are you here?" the voice asked. "Why did you awaken us?" Lyra looked around, trying to find the right words. "We didn't know. We only followed the signal. We thought you were gone, but you're still here." "We are here," the voice responded. "But we can never return to the world you know. We have become the universe itself. But you are still bound to the physical. You still have the ability to shape the future. You are the heirs of the stars. Will you carry the knowledge of the Aldari into the future, or will you let it fade into silence?" Lyra stood in silence, the weight of their words pressing on her. The future of humanity, and perhaps the entire galaxy, was now intertwined with the legacy of the Aldari. It was a responsibility that could not be taken lightly. "We will carry your knowledge," Lyra said, her voice steady. "We will ensure that your legacy does not fade. We will remember you." The Aldari's energy seemed to brighten, as if in approval. "Then you are ready." And with that, the figures began to dissipate, leaving behind only the pulsing glow of the crystals. The room grew quiet once more. As Lyra and her crew stood in the now empty chamber, they knew that they had uncovered a truth that would change the course of history. The Aldari had not disappeared, they had simply transcended. And their legacy, now passed on to